I am Jana Wasonko, and this is QTV News coming to you live from our studios along Kairaba Avenue. Thanks for joining us here at the main local and international news headlines. The Ministry of Tourism on Wednesday presented $300,000 support to 9 cultural groups in Banjul ahead of festivals around Christmas and the New Year. A youth-led organization, Gambia Ocean Heroes, has distributed waste segregation bins in coastal areas in the Greater Banjul area to promote waste management. The Association of Clearing and Forwarding Agencies on Wednesday held its annual general meeting in Banjul. The natives of Farafenye have freshened up their hope following the re-election of the incumbent President Adama Barrow. In international news, Madagascar's Minister of Police, Serge Gili, has claimed to have swum for 12 hours to reach Tisho following a helicopter crash off the island's coast. In sports news, Ethiopia's side Al Ahly won their 8th Total Energies CAF Super Cup after edging out Morocco's Raja Club Athletic 6-5 in a dramatic post-match penalty shootout. Those were the main headlines, and now the news in detail. Do stay with us. Thank you for joining us, and I am Jana Bosonko. Now, in a bid to promote heritage and culture, the Ministry of Tourism on Wednesday presented $300,000 to 9 cultural groups in Banjul ahead of festivals around Christmas and the New Year. Mamadou Lamin Choi has the rest of that.
This year's presentation of cash support to the hunting societies is the 3rd time in a row since 2019. Banjul is known to be a hub for hunting societies, some of which have existed since pre-colonial times. Hasum Sise is the director of the National Center for Arts and Culture, and he expresses the ministry's gratitude for the role cultural groups play in the promotion of culture in the Gambia.
All what we are doing is to give support and to express our appreciation to the groups, the 9 groups, who have always done it, even without, government support. So we want to thank the groups here, for keeping up, this tradition of Banjul.
The promotion of tourism and culture is fundamental to a country whose economy largely depends on these sectors. This year, the ministry is presenting $300,000 as financial support to 9 cultural groups in Banjul to complement their efforts in the promotion of cultural heritage. The permanent secretary of the Tourism Ministry, Kodo El Jabang, underscores the ministry's commitment to ensuring a sustainable cultural diversity and coexistence in the Gambia.
This is something we need to ensure that we build. It has been very sustainable in the sense that these cultural societies, hunting societies, have managed to really support themselves to get to where they are.
The cultural groups announced as beneficiaries are the Banjul Cultural Committee, Jollof Art Banjul Cultural Festival, Ekumbaba, Gunshot, Odile, Omojese, Midland and Mid-East hunting societies. All these cultural groups are based in the capital, Banjul. Dudu Fall of Ekumbaba delivers a word of thanks on behalf of the beneficiaries.
Because hunting is very expensive, as I can say. Because if any one of us tells you how much we spend every year, you will be buying. We spend a lot of money. And without support, we cannot move this thing to further heights. So I implore government to continue to assist, at least to push other institutions to assist by way of marketing or whatever, to make this culture sustainable. It's a culture that we can sell.
Cultural festivals in Banjul are important occasions for many. They encapsulate vibrant performances from cultural groups, whose displays of cultural animation capture the attention of and attract many from different parts of the country. The Tourism and Culture Minister, Hamad Nkeba, thanks the cultural groups for investing in and organizing cultural festivals and calls on Gambians to support these cultural groups.
Under the government of Adama Barrow, we believe that we cannot promote our country in the absence of culture, arts and culture. And that's why we believe that we should focus a lot more resources in it. It was neglected, left out, and that will lead us to nowhere. We need to know where we came from in order to determine where we are going. And we can only do that when we nurture the past and maintain it and make sure we protect it, we preserve it, and we move forward with it.
Annually, January the 1st witnesses the Banjul Cultural Festival, an event featuring a diverse cultural display thanks to the cultural groups in the capital. Mohamed Lamin Chai, QTV News.
Looking forward to the ambience next year. Now, a youth-led organization, Gambia Ocean Heroes, is committed to solving the Gambia's long-standing waste management problem by distributing waste segregation bins in coastal areas in the Greater Banjul area. I visited the different areas that they have their waste segregation bins, and this is my report. This is the usual way of waste disposal in the Gambia, simply mixing all the waste materials together. This causes air pollution and makes waste more difficult to manage. The Gambia Ocean's Heroes are working to limit air pollution along the coast by introducing waste segregation bins. The bins have different components for paper waste, metal, organic and plastic. According to Mohammed Haidara of the Gambia Ocean's Heroes, field research has proven that these bins have a unique model with sustainable method matching the coastal environment.
Gambia Ocean Hero, we have been monitoring this coastal environment since 2018 up to date, and then we realized that there have been a lot of solid waste along the coastal environment. So what came up was like many issues were raised concerning the people that normally visit the beach for their own leisure time. They were complaining that there is no proper waste along the coastal environment, and which is true. So that being said, and then we are like, okay, why not then we try and initiate something new? Because we believe like not to only create a beam, but to create a beam that will at least prepare them for the modern world by creating a segregated bin.
Part of the project will provide women involved in juice production ways to reuse the plastic bottles in a hygienic way for their juice and other materials to be used as organic manure and other things that can be beneficial to communities. We observe that the waste currently disposed in the bins are not disposed properly. Haidara explains efforts to change that.
We have to play a key role by making more sensitization concerning how to use the segregated waste, because it's something new. People are not used to segregate their own waste, even at home. So at the big side, I think we need to do more effort by doing more videos, to educate people how to segregate the bin. So, and I'm glad that QTV is here with us, and I believe you'll be able to sensitize people how to use the bin, maybe starting from one volunteer to see how they can use it, and that could be used for publicity and others.
Considering the project aims to reduce coastal pollution, we engaged Babu Karbari, whose restaurant, Solomon's Restaurant, is not far from where one of the bins is situated.
I think this bin should have been here, like a long time ago. So basically, it just makes life much more easier for the people that are cleaning the beach, and if they have waste that they want to dispose, they also have somewhere that they can put it. So let's say for the people that comes for like the Sunday beach, so when they want to dispose their own waste, they will, because now the bin is there, so it will just make things much more easier.
According to the World Bank, waste generation rates are rising. In 2016, the world cities generated 2.01 billion tons of solid waste, amounting to a footprint of 0.74 kilograms per person per day. With rapid population growth and urbanization, annual waste generation is expected to increase by 70% from 2016 levels to 3.40 billion tons by 2050. It is expected that proper waste management strategies like recycling are the solution.
So here is for organic waste, only organic waste sample. There is a drawing there, banana, lemon or whatever that is naturally made. So then we have the other side, which is for paper and newspaper, cardboard, whatever, that is raw material made. And then we also have here, which is for plastic waste, the bottle or anything that is made of plastic. And then here we have for metal waste, either can or either soft, anything that is made of can actually, that you can dump there.
Reporting for QTV News, I am Jenna Bosongo. Now, the Association of Clearing and Forwarding Agencies on Wednesday held its annual general meeting in Banjul. Yaya Jawo attended the meeting and he fastens to report.
The AGM is part of the association's constitutional mandate to meet the membership and map out plans for the association's future. Isa Wali, the acting president of the association, says the association is recognized by all stakeholders in the Gambia and the sub-region because of the important role they play in the supply chain. He added that 2021 has been a difficult year for them. Nevertheless, they had taken the necessary decisions to transform the association, culminating in many agreements with the Gambia Revenue Authority, GRA, and other stakeholders.
These initiatives can be undertaken successfully only if there is also an attitudinal change. The association, including ourselves, the management and all our people, must successfully complete the toughest transformation of all, which is the transformation of our behaviors, processes, priorities, and objectives.
Modu So, the ACFA Secretary General, outlined some of the association's engagements since their previous AGM, which included several reform matters for clearing and forwarded agents registered with the association.
Association has reached to a level, another level, and it is well recognized all over the world, I can say, because there is a body of the Association of Clearing and Forwarding Agency body, ECOWAS. We are part of it now. We were invited to go and attend the meeting there. The agencies, we have a forum that we used to communicate with them, the day-to-day what is happening between other ECOWAS states, how they are moving on. And we are also part of the AFTSC, and we are part of the Trade Facilitation Committee.
Here is Alaji Mbai, Deputy Commissioner, Technical Support and Monitoring at the Gambia Revenue Authority.
If GRA is proud of collecting 12 billion, I think this 12 billion per annum is also equally contributed to, by the fraternity, of the clearing and forwarding, because no GRA officer has ever made a declaration by himself. It is you who made all the declarations, that has collected this 12 billion we are talking about.
Lamin Sanyang, the Director of Operations at the Gambia Port Authority, says the good relationship and mutual understanding built over the years between the GPA and other partners, including the clearing and forwarding agents, has brought about a lot of development in trade facilitation, such as the clearing of goods from the Gambia Ports Authority. He added that the port has realized an exponential growth in terms of traffic over recent years, where the GPA recorded annually 10 to 16% in growth. Thus, the port has challenges in terms of capacity for the desired storage space to accommodate the number of vessels coming into the country. He highlighted the plans by the GPA to address such problems.
To overcome these challenges, the Board of Directors, Gambia Ports Authority Management, has embarked on a fourth port project, which is the Port Master Plan and the 5-year business plan, which has identified key projects components. That is, jetty extension to accommodate 3 container vessels at a time in order to cut down the waiting time of vessels and to remove congestion shoreside on goods.
The country's clearing and forwarding agents, through their executive, have called on the Gambia Revenue Authority to engage the GPA over its expensive tariffs and delays of goods at the ports and improve the working conditions of the association's members. Reporting for QTV News, I am Yahya Jao.
From that story by Yahya Jao on the Association of Clearing and Forwarding Agencies annual general meeting, we will now go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, we have some more stories for you. Do stay tuned.
Q-City New Year's Eve Gala. It's the time of the year again. Time to end it with a bang and in style. Join our annual New Year's Eve feast in a breathtaking environment with the amazing Keba Taylor Band and the exceptional Bud Hammer, the man with the golden voice. And to top it all, the jaw-dropping fireworks at midnight to celebrate the beginning of a rocking new year filled with all the happiness in the world. Celebrate and make New Year's resolutions with family and loved ones at Q-City. Tickets are only $3,500 for individual and $2,000 for children 12 and under, and a 10% discount for every table of 10. Call 33-72489 or 33-00056 for more info. Q-City New Year's Eve Gala. Cheers to the good life that awaits us all.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News, and I am Jenna Bosonko. Now, the natives of Farafenni have freshened up their hope following the re-election of the incumbent President Adama Barrow. Being one of the biggest towns in the country with diverse commercial sectors, those in Farafenni are pinning their hopes on the re-elected president's new mandate to deliver improvements. Our reporter in North Bank region, Malik Nyang, fastened this report.
The people of Farafenni were among the first to celebrate following President Barrow's victory in the recently concluded presidential race. With the victory comes the hope from the townspeople that their hopes, especially in infrastructural development, will be realized. Among the priorities they would like to see addressed are improved medication and qualified doctors in the region's hospitals, better security, electricity and water supply, amongst other challenges. The Councillor of Farafenni Ward, Honorable Papa Tunkara, urges the President-elect to unite the people after a long and intense political struggle leading to the conclusion of the election.
The first thing that I would expect the President to do is to unite people. Ask one, we are all Gambians. So definitely we are just trying to tell him that let him focus on Farafenni, because Farafenni people has decided to vote for him. So please let him also fulfill his promises in Farafenni people. So that's the most important thing.
The former chief of Farafenni, Alhaji Sambujang Jain, said that Farafenni is a big town which requires better infrastructure. Nonetheless, he has the confidence that the president-elect will consider the town, since the people of Farafenni have reignited their trust for the president in the ballot box. He also believes that the president will make Farafenni safer for all.
I'm definitely in the Kenola because I had this afle. Adam Baroka campaign
President Barrow's victory is not a surprise to me because he worked for it. So many people that have never benefited from the past governments have benefited from the work of Barrow's government. While I am optimistic, I am pleading with him to pump more development into Farafenni Ward because there is a lot that the town needs. I am also calling on everyone, especially the youth, to unite and be peaceful, so that when development comes, we all have our says.
Alongside the need for development in Farafenni, peace is also a necessity for progress. Youth, who constitute 67% of the population, are key to ensuring peace and stability after an election. Therefore, the National People's Party's chairman in Farafenni Ward, Alhaji Mustafa Diba, urged citizens to always be peaceful in spite of our party political differences. He said a country cannot grow if there is no peace.
People should always cooperate, maintain peace and stability, work together and listen to one another. Development cannot happen if there is no peace between us. We are one people, therefore let us have good intentions towards each other. I urge everyone, starting from my party members, to be peaceful and unite for our common good.
As they await the president-elect's inauguration, the people of Farafenni remain hopeful they will benefit from the President Barrow's statement following his victory that there can be no development without infrastructure. Malik Nyang for QTV News.
From that story by Malik Nyang, now let's take a look at news beyond our borders. Madagascar's Minister of Police, Serge Gili, has claimed to have swum for 12 hours to reach the shore following a helicopter crash off the island's coast on Tuesday. He is one of the 2 survivors of the incident. More in this report by Ansumana Sonyasi.
In what is being described as an extraordinarily almost unbelievable story, Madagascar's Secretary of State for Police, Serge Gele, is among the luckiest people in the world. Gele was appointed minister following a cabinet reshuffle. Mr. Gele had served in the police for 3 decades before his appointment as minister in August. He has been praised by the president, who promised to fully mobilize support and to provide any necessary aid to the victims of the helicopter crash and an earlier shipwreck. Port Authority Chief Jean Edmond Randia Nantinaina said Serge Gele and a fellow police officer reached land separately on Tuesday morning after apparently ejecting themselves from the aircraft before swimming to shore. Meanwhile, Police Chief Zavisambatra Ravoy said that Gele had used one of the helicopter seats as a floating device. Rescue workers had recovered 18 more bodies from the shipwreck, Ravoy said on Tuesday. This brought the death toll to 39 from the boat which sank on Monday night. The boat which sank had 130 passengers on board, of which 45 have been saved. The helicopter was flying its passengers, including Gele, to inspect the site of a shipwreck off the northeastern coast of Madagascar. Meanwhile, in a widely shared video on Twitter, Gele appears lying on a deck chair, seemingly resting and still in a camouflage jumpsuit. On Twitter, President Andre Rajoelina mourned those who died and paid tribute to Mr. Gele and the other surviving officer, who arrived in the seaside town of Mahambo separately. The helicopter's pilot and another military officer on board are still missing, he said. Police Chief Zavisambatra Ravoy told AFP he has always had great stamina in sport and he's kept up his rhythm as minister just like a 30-year-old. He has nerves of steel. Answana Sonyasi for KTV News.
Unbelievable. Now let's take a look at what is happening in the world of sports. Now, Ethiopian side Al Ahly won their 8th Total Energies CAF Super Cup after edging out Morocco's Raja Club Athletic 6-5 in a dramatic post-match penalty shootout, with the match having ended 1-1 in regulation time. Adi Drame watched the drama unfold.
Both teams had come into the final pitting the winners of Africa's two biggest club competitions against each other in very good domestic form, with both unbeaten in their last 6 league games. Moroccan's Raja were in their 12th continental final, having won the previous 11. For Ahly, the Egyptian serial winners of the Champions League, they were attempting to win this competition for an unbelievable 8th time. The 2 goals, one early in the match in the 13th minute and one late on in the 90th minute, barely begin to tell the tale of this exciting, incredible match. After the scores finished level at full time, the players, some of whom were exhausted, having been on international duty in the recently concluded FIFA Arab Cup, seemed very, very tired, but determined. At least they found themselves in familiar surroundings, as this showpiece final was played in Qatar, where the FIFA Arab Cup had taken place. However, exhausted players had to rouse themselves. Coaches had to earn their money by inspiring their charges to give one more effort. For the players, there was the comfort that at least they did not have to endure 30 minutes of extra time. Some had given their all in the hope of settling matters in regulation times, and so it was straight to penalties. Penalty shootouts are often referred to as being a lottery. Many times, in such situations, the goalkeepers emerge as heroes, and the one who misses or has a penalty saved becomes the villain or is made the scapegoat. In this match, however, one commentator summed it up best when he said, "These players are giving a masterclass in penalty taking." Ahly were the first to take and the first to convert their spot kick. And so it proceeded, with no player missing or either goalkeeper making a save, even though both came close to doing so on a couple of occasions. After 10 penalties had been taken, the score stood at 5-5, and it seemed we were in for a very long night. It was now sudden death, and Akram Taufik scored the first for Ahly to make it 6-5 and put pressure on the next man who was up to take the kick for Raja. That man was Makdour, who blazed his penalty high over the bar to hand the victory to Ahly. For the remarkable Al Ahly, who were defending this cup, it was yet another trophy for their already full trophy cabinet. As well as having won the Champions League a record 10 times, they have now won this trophy an unbelievable 8th time, and they have been crowned Egyptian champions a record 42 times. No wonder they call themselves the team of the century. For QTV News, I am Ade Darami.
Now, Congratulations to Egyptian side Al Ahly instead of Ethiopian side, as mentioned earlier. Now, before we end this news bulletin, let's take a look at our main headlines. The Ministry of Tourism on Wednesday presented $300,000 support to 9 cultural groups in Banjul ahead of festivals around Christmas and New Year. A youth-led organization, Gambia Ocean's Heroes, has distributed waste segregation bins in coastal areas in the Greater Banjul area to promote waste management. The Association of Clearing and Forwarding Agencies on Wednesday held its annual general meeting in Banjul. The natives of Farafenni have freshened up their hope following the re-election of incumbent President Adama Barrow. In international news, Madagascar's Minister of Police, Sadio Kile, has claimed to have swum for 12 hours to reach seashore following a helicopter crash off the island's coast. Now in sports news, Egyptian side Al Ahly won their 8th Total Energies CAF Super Cup after edging out Morocco's Raja Club Athletic 6-5 in a dramatic post-match penalty shootout. That is all we have in this edition of QTV News. Join us at 10 for another bulletin. Thanks for watching.